Comics, as you well know, are bitter fucks, and one of the things we're bitter about is how shitty we were treated when we began. Yeah. I mean, there were times when I was promised money and got stiffed. I can think of two, not that they burned in my mind 40 years later, but one was the Comedy Works in Philadelphia. He said he would send me an excuse me check for $100. Even that didn't come. Okay, it doesn't matter. I've forgotten all about it. And there was another one. I played in a disco. Oh my God. I was supposed to get $30 to be in a disco, which let's just say that wasn't a great gig to begin with. Never got that. And then, of course, they would just cheat you out of money when we had to have a strike. This is like 79.
The Comedy Store strike.
Comedy Store strike, and also we had a union thing in L.A. My book, I wrote one novel about my beginnings. Mm-hmm. It's called True Story. Ben almost made it into a movie way back in the day, but then other things happened. But, the political spine of that is the nascent union movement. There was a group of comedians who felt this is a showcase club. Yeah. We stink, and we're allowed to stink, and you don't pay us, and in response, we don't feel any obligation to be any good because we're working it out.
But the place is packed
and making
a fortune.
That's the other argument.
Yeah. Yes.
And which side were you on?
Well, that was a couple of years before my time, but I know that it was ugly.
My book, the plot is about me and my best friend, this comedian, you wouldn't know him, and that kind of split us apart. I thought he was a guy who was never going to make it as a comedian. He was not. He was a funny, witty Irishman, but he was not overly burdened with talent for the stage.
Yeah.
A little corny, a little not ahead of his time, behind it.
Yeah.
And I thought he used the excuse of let's all be, in solidarity and quit if you don't get paid. It's like, well, you're not going to make it anyway. You don't care if you get paid. Whereas I'm going to fucking beat out you other motherfuckers. Okay, so I am willing to eat shit now for what this club is giving me. And I kind of stand by that. Not that we shouldn't have gotten something. We got cab fare, but, I was terrible. I shouldn't have been paid, and I feel
people crossed that picket line. There were people who crossed the picket line.
There was no picket line in New York. Yeah. I would not have crossed the picket line.
That was in New York. In L.A., there were people who Mitzi got to keep working.
I would never have crossed the picket line because my father was a big union guy.